Hey everyone, how you guys doing? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make corn flour pudding. And in Lebanon, we call it Mahalabia. It is a traditional, local dessert that almost every home in Lebanon make. And it's so easy to make and it's tasty. Your kids are going to love it. And you're not going to need a lot of ingredients for this recipe. So I'm going to be showing you how to make the pudding, and I'm also going to be showing you how to make the syrup that goes along with the pudding. So let's get started. Okay guys, so first off, you're going to need this orange blossom water, and it's very important because it's going to give kind of aroma to the pudding itself. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of that, and you can get it at your local grocery store or on Amazon. And next you're going to need 6 tablespoons of sugar, 2 glasses of milk powder, and about 3/4 of a glass of corn flour, 6 glasses of water. So I'm going to empty all of this in this big bowl right here, and I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to show you what to do next with it, guys. So I'll just empty in the sugar, and then we got the milk powder in there. And you also want to make sure not to throw anything away. Then we got the corn flour in there. And I'm going to scrape, the rest of this from the glass. Now I'm going to add in the water, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to mix it. Now I've added in the water to the mixture, and all you want to do is use a hand mixture, and you want to stir this until you get all the lumps mixed with cold water. Just want to stir that. Make sure your water is cold because you don't want any lumps in this pudding. Just stir it up, and now we're going to strain it in the pot before we put it on the stove. So that's about it. And I did not put the orange blossom water into this. I'm going to put it in last when the pudding is almost done. So we're going to have to strain this mixture because we do not want any lumps in the pudding. Okay, and that's it. Now we're going to take this over to the stove, and we're going to continue to use our hand mixer, and we're going to continue stirring this until it thickens. You do not want to leave it on the stove without stirring it. So let's take this over to the stove, guys. Okay, so now I have it over on the stove, and you want to continue stirring this. Just continue stirring it until it thickens. You do not want to leave it on the stove, and you do not want to get your hands out of this because it's going to turn into huge lumps, and you're not going to get that creamy, mixture that you want for your pudding. So make sure you continue to stir this until it starts to heat up, and you're not going to stop until you've completed this recipe. So I'll see you in a second when this begins to thicken up, guys. So it's been almost 4 minutes, and I'm still stirring this bad guy, and I have not left it. I only went ahead and added 2 teaspoons of corn flour into another glass and mixed it with a little bit of water just in case I don't get the consistency that I'm supposed to get with this pudding, but I'm sure I'm not going to need it because once this starts to boil, I think it's going to be exactly what we were looking for. So finally the pudding is thickening. It's beginning to thicken. So because I don't want to leave this, or else it's going to get stuck at the bottom of the pot, I'm going to try my best to pause this video and stir the corn flour because it has gone at the bottom of the glass. And you want to stir it up before you empty it into the pudding so that it does not make lumps. So I'll show you what it looks like. Be back in a second. Okay, so I managed to pour that in there. And as you can see now, it's thickening to the right consistency, guys. Just gonna let this cook a little bit longer. And we are gonna remove it from the heat. I recommend that for this recipe, you just simply use a whole cup of corn flour instead of using 3/4 of a cup so that you get the right consistency right away. And then you want to continue stirring, guys. Oh, and it's about now that you need to go ahead and add in the orange blossom water because this is almost done. This is when you're supposed to add that in. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay guys, so the pudding is done and this is the consistency that you want. You want this to be smooth and with no lumps. And now what you want to do is go ahead and pour it into little bowls. And go ahead and just carefully pour them into little bowls. And we're gonna add some ground pistachio nuts over these once they've cooled down a little bit. So guys, the pudding has cooled down and I've began sprinkling some ground pistachio nuts over this, and you just want to grab a little bit. You can sprinkle it over it. If you like other types of nuts, you can go ahead and use it. But we like to use pistachio here at home. It just tastes better. You can put some raisins on here or, grated coconut, dry coconut. And it's also going to taste amazing. So we're going to go ahead and begin making the sugar syrup for this dessert. And I'll see you in a little bit, guys. Okay, so to make the sugar syrup, you're going to need 2 cups of sugar and 1.5 cup of water. Okay, and you're gonna need 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. And we're also going to be using 1 tablespoon of rose water, but we're going to add that in at the end. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to, light the stove and we're going to continue stirring this syrup until it melts. We don't want to burn it. We don't want it to change color. We just want it to melt, and we want to have that kind of thick, slightly thickened consistency, like a syrup. So I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. Stick with me, guys. Okay, so I've lit the stove and right now I'm trying to melt the sugar. And you should use a bigger pot than I'm using because this is going to spill all over the stove. And I'm going to spend like 30 minutes trying to clean this up, guys. So you got to learn from my mistakes. Okay, I'm going to continue stirring this until the sugar melts. But I'm not going to leave it because it's going to burn. We don't want to burn this. Just want to melt the sugar and let it boil until we get the consistency that we want. So I'll see you in a bit. So the syrup has been boiling for about 5 minutes now, and I just wanted to show you guys this part. You want to remove this foam from over the syrup. Make sure you get all of it, or else it's going to give it sort of a sour taste, and you do not want that. So you want to get rid of all of that. And as you remove them, new ones are going to form. And at this point, you don't really need to stir the syrup as much as you needed to at the beginning. Syrup consistency, but we're going to leave it on a little bit more, about 5 minutes more. And continue to remove the foams. Okay, and in the next 5 minutes, before this is done, I'm gonna add in 1 tablespoon of rose water, and that's it. I'm gonna show you what it looks like once it's done. So I'll see you in a little bit, guys. Okay guys, so the sugar syrup is done. I added in the rose water, and this is how yours should look. You do not want to dry it up any more than this, or it's going to be very thick, and you do not want that for this dessert. You want it to be exactly this consistency, because we do not want it to be too thick or too sweet, because we already have sugar in the corn flour pudding. So you want to make sure to get all of this out like we said before. And this is how you make the sugar syrup for your corn flour pudding. So last but not least, guys, you want to make sure that this cools off completely, and you put it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes before you eat it, or else you are going to get a running stomach. So once you're about to eat this, just go ahead and add in a little bit of sugar syrup, and this is exactly how you want it to be. And you go ahead, guys, and you just go ahead and cut into that. And once you put this in a fridge, it's gonna get thicker. The consistency of the pudding is gonna get thicker than this. So when you cut into it, it's gonna be, you know, harder instead of mushy like this. But it needs to get into the fridge. So if you guys like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And you can share it with your friends as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay awesome until next time.